Hello everybody, this is Haskell with Choctaw Archery and Guns. We know it's been a little bit since we've been able to get back and make a video, with the holidays and everything, falling in the middle of the week, and then also with the weather. Well, weather's been kind of crazy for everybody, so hit and miss on some snow and ice, and hopefully everybody's safe and no injuries or accidents. We want everybody to be safe out there. So what I wanted to come and talk to you about today is a lot of you follow and see what we do with outfitter packages. We started in December and started doing bow hunt packages. For every bow that you came in and purchased, you had the availability to go on an African safari. We have a lot of interest in these. We also started doing one for New Zealand. And we get a lot of questions. Even customers get their friends calling them and saying, how is this even possible? This has got to be a scam, or there's no way they can do this. Well, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background on how we can do this and why. The background on this is I've been in this industry for 34 years. I have a lot of contacts. Archery and hunting have literally taken me all over the world. Fortunately enough, I have been friends with a lot of really good outfitters, very established and very well recognized in a lot of the outdoor industries. So by knowing these guys when they first started developing their companies and getting into the outfitter business, I was able to build very strong relationships with these guys so that later down the road, we might be able to utilize this and do something to give back to our customers and back to the hunters that go over there. Let's take Africa, for example. Africa, 90% of its wildlife resource management money comes from the United States. So let's just take, for example, COVID. COVID shut down all worldwide travels. People weren't able to go. It was devastating on the animal economic environment there. These people need that economic income to be able to manage the animals, manage the properties, and have those animals there. We have a misconception that Africa is still just wild and open and free range and people can go and hunt and go as they please. It's really not that way. It's developed just like America has. Now the properties there are extensively larger. Some of the properties that you hunt could be 60,000 acres. That's like going hunting in a national forest in some places. But what we wanted to do was show that now with commercialized hunting in America, I love to hunt elk. I love to hunt whitetail, mule deer. This is our home. But it's become so commercialized that a lot of the blue collar guys, our bread and butter guys, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for them to go on hunts in our own country. Let's just get real. Public land usage up 70% since 2020. So that means there is a huge influx of public land hunters. Nothing wrong with it. That's the only option some guys have, and I understand that. But unfortunately, I think that I will live long enough to see in my lifetime where the average guy, the guy that goes out there, gets up, puts his pants on, goes to work, has a family to support, it's going to be a very difficult process for him to hunt in our own country. I watched an auction this weekend, and I'm always watching. I'm a member of a lot of organizations that are really good organizations for wildlife management and preservation. And I know it's fundraisers and about getting the influx of that money to help support and keep animals where they should be in the populations that they need to be. I watched a hunt go for $1.3 million. I was blown away, which it's great, awesome fundraising. But that is where we're going with this industry and hunting. Unfortunately, that's just the case. Things change. It's called progression. So what we wanted to do was show people, some people, their lifetime dream may be to go to Africa or New Zealand or Canada or Argentina. There's places all over the world that's in someone's mind. And what I wanted to do was step back, take a moment, look at my customer base, listen to what the input was, and show them that this is attainable. You can do this. it's not a break the bank. You don't have to have $50,000. You just have to be smart on how you work it. So I got with pretty much lifelong friends that are outfitters, major outfitters, members of FASA, which is the Professional Hunters Organization out of Africa. My African outfitter is Coochie Safaris, Quiz Demir. Great guy, family run operation, does a lot of stuff with Ducks Unlimited. He has a lot of properties. Right now, he's a little over 500,000 acres in property. So he has the availability to get with me, and we offer these hunt packages. It's something that you can plan out. We had a 3-year turnaround on these hunts. You had 3 years to do it. So what we've done is set it up to where you can set these hunts up, you can book, you can set your dates in, and it gives you time to save. And what I wanted to do was talk to you a little bit about how I do it. Now, I don't recommend to anyone, to get in debt. No one wants to be in debt. So just realize what I'm saying to you is how I make things attainable for me. I actually have a Delta card, Delta Airline miles. I switch most all of my stuff over to that card, fuel, any expenses that I can do. And what I do is I put everything on that card, and then I pay that card 2 days before the end of the month. That way I'm not hit with interest. But what it is for every dollar that I spend, I get $1 in airline miles, or a mile in airline miles, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I get 1 mile per dollar. During promotional time frames, I may get 2 miles per dollar. So what I do is on these trips, I start building up and acquiring miles, just steadily. I take advantage of the promotional times, but the key is to make sure you pay it before any interest hits. So when I'm booking these hunts, I'm looking at what those those airline rates are going to be and those fees are going to be. I also use a booking agent, PWP Travel, Patrick Wright. Reason that I do that is it's less headache. He can see every airline, every flight available, and if something happens while I am out of country and flights get delayed, all I have to do is pick up the phone and that man gets me home. So I don't book myself anymore. Reason being is now I have someone who takes care of that, and he literally, makes sure that everything is handled and took care of, and we are safe and what we need to do to get on the next plane to come home. His services are worth every penny, and they're not stupid crazy. I mean, believe me, guys, I've done the sitting there with your phone on Skyscanner and trying to find the flights, the best rates, and this guy can pull up every flight available. So he's going to find you the best rate. So when I'm booking those flights, I know in advance when my dates are going to be. So there's windows. If you get with Patrick, he's going to tell you what window you need to book that flight in. So when that time comes, I contact Patrick. He finds my flights, and I redeem my miles. So you're going to pay the taxes on those flights, of course, if you don't have enough miles to cover the flight. But that is how I manage my flights, because it ends up being a whole lot cheaper and a lot less headache. So, everybody always thinks that you're out $20, $30, $40, $50,000 to go to Africa. That's just not true. In all reality, if you take the average whitetail hunter in America today, you can go to Africa 1.5 times for what you spend on hunting whitetail deer. Now, I love to hunt whitetail deer. Don't get me wrong. It's a passion. I have spent my life doing it, and I have made a business off of people that hunt whitetail deer. But what I wanted to show people was there's things that you can do, and you can go and see, and you can experience that it's life-changing. What you see on the nature channels is really just an inkling of what it's like when you get there. You never know what you're going to see when you round a corner. Things work differently. Water goes down the drain counterclockwise there instead of clockwise here. Little things. But it's an experience that you can share not only just with yourself, but you can also turn it into a vacation. They have things that are available for non-hunters. Everybody thinks it's just you only go there to hunt. That's not the case. They have photo safaris, big, because you can go to the national parks and see all the animals, the elephants, the rhinos, the lions. That income off of that stuff also helps to keep those parks managed. You have all kinds of day trips and excursions that are available if you do one of these hunt packages that you can get with that outfitter, and he can help set it up so your wife and kids could even go. Typically on the African safaris, we like for the kids to at least be 13 years old when they go over. It's just a whole lot demographically better. But there's also that aspect of if your spouse wants to go, then she doesn't have to just go and hunt, and she doesn't have to just go and sit. So there's things that you can do. And you can do after safari excursions. You can go and take a trip up to Victoria Falls or Kruger National Park, or, there's a lot of different things and opportunities. But the reason that we're doing this is a lot of people never will step outside of the box to try to experience it. So what we're doing is giving you that opportunity. Now, the way that works is, yes, you're going to get all of your hunting days, your transportation, your boarding, your lodging, your drinks, your meals, your laundry service, your pH, your tracker, your skinner. You're going to get 3 animals at no charge, no trophy fees. You're going to go over, if you hunt just the 3 animals, that's your choice. If you want to add animals, you can add animals. You're already in the plus. But the biggest thing is, you may realize, like I did the first time I went, that it won't be the last time you go. I tell people when I'm there, I shared camp with 28 other people when I was there in September. When we left, 80% of that camp had rebooked. They were already booked. Now, it may have been a year later, it may have been 2 years later, but they rebooked to come back. The experience, the way that you're treated, the hospitality, the food, just everything is such a well-run, organized machine. It's mind-boggling how many working cogs that this operation has and how smoothly it runs. No hiccups, no issues. It's precision. It's impressive. I've never seen anything quite like it. But what I wanted to do is tell you how this works. This isn't a scam. This is real. I would never do anything or offer anything to my customer that wasn't straight up on the up and up, because my life depends on it. My livelihood depends on it. So it's a great opportunity. We will be adding additional opportunities. As most of you know, there are a lot of shows going on right now. Dallas Safari Club, SCI, the Great American Outdoor Show in Pennsylvania, the Sheep Foundation. All these trade shows are going on for outfitters to come here to the U.S. and market. So my outfitters are in the U.S. I had a meeting with some yesterday. So we are going to have availability at some point a little bit later to offer a limited quantity run of these packages again. This isn't something that we can just do all the time. So I have to make sure that the logistics and the manpower and the availability is there. So it's a lot of work on my end to make sure that everything runs smooth. We booked between the 1st of December and actually our special ran into the first week of January because Christmas, everything gets a little crazy around Christmas. We booked 62 African packages. 62 people confirmed that they're going to go. That's awesome, because a lot of them are husband and wives and fathers and sons. And, I'm actually going to be sharing a camp with some of my customers when I go back. I didn't tell or elaborate on my dates, because if I do that, then there's a really big influx of people trying to be there in those windows. Everybody wants to be there with someone they know. I understand that, but I have found out since we ended this that I will actually be sharing camp with 5 customers, and they just randomly happen to be on the same week that I'm there. So that's going to be a really fun experience. We're going to take a lot of pictures and talk to people about it, and that's going to be an awesome time. The other package that we're doing, and we're doing that on the firearm side, is Hunt New Zealand. Mr. Phil Wilson, master guide and outfitter out in New Zealand, has been kind enough to get with us, and we're doing some bull tar packages. Those are going extremely well. Those packages, everybody knows that we're doing some raffles and stuff on a Fierce rifle, and that comes with the bull tar package. The way we did that logistically was it's a July hunt package for us. The reason being, the rates for airfare during the month of July, flying out of Houston, average between $1,400 and $1,600 round trip. Okay, so for us as Okies, that's awesome because we have two options. We can drive to Houston and fly out, or we can fly out Oklahoma City to Houston and then fly over. But we did that strategically so that it made it super affordable. Everybody's, always worried about airfare. We have looked at these things, and we're doing these things so that's reasonable for your airfare. You'll fly out of Houston to Auckland, New Zealand, and then you have like $185 hop flight from Auckland, which is on the North Island, to the South Island in Christchurch. Christchurch is where Phil will pick you up, and that's where the hunt will be, is on the South Island. Now, with that, Phil will also book sightseeing tours and things to do after your hunt ends. We leave in like 50 days, me and my wife, and we're going to go to New Zealand, and we're going to have our hunt trip, and then we're going to spend a few days sightseeing and going and seeing Lord of the Rings stuff and all kinds of cool stuff down there. It's beautiful. They have a lot of high Alps and mountains, and we're going to end up taking a train tour on the South Island. I'm really excited about it. I've never been to New Zealand. So I'm going to go. I'm going to be there firsthand. I'm going to know what it's about. How I met Phil was he is an outfitter for one of my dearest friends, and my friend went with him over 20 years ago the first time. So I got acquainted and got to know Phil, and he approached me, and I approached him pretty much at the same time, and we was like, man, this would be really neat to let people know that, New Zealand is attainable. We watch these hunting television shows, and, I know I used to be, I don't know about you guys at home, but I used to be, as soon as they got to the end of that show, I was looking up the outfitter that was on that show, that episode, whether it be in South Texas or Canada or Africa or New Zealand, wherever. And it always felt like a heartbreak because it was like, man, I'd really like to do that. And I would look it up, and these hunts were like astronomical. So I'm just going to put it in plain perspective. Most of that stuff that you see on TV, it's great for them because that's how they make their living, is the TV shows and the episodes that they do. But they don't have those fees, and they don't have those rates and charges because they're being basically a promoter for that outfitter. So they don't have that out-of-pocket expense. I mean, that's just how the industry is, guys. I mean, they're not paying, for every one of those hunts full price like everybody else will. And I'll argue that demographic till I'm blue in the face because I've been in this industry a long time, which is great for them. I mean, not knocking anybody. I get it. But we want to make it attainable for you, the regular guy just like me. I work hard and I want to play hard, so I have to make my dollar stretch. So those are two packages that we're offering. I am always looking and seeking different aspects in the hunting industry as far as outfitters. I'm really lucky to have the African connection and the New Zealand connection. I am currently in the works on a Canadian connection, and I have a connection for Argentina. I would like to get 6 outfitters that are really, really solid that I can do these packages at different times of the year. A few years ago, I went to Argentina. That was awesome trip. They not only have wing shooting for doves, they have ducks, perdiz, which is a grouse type game fowl. red stag, boar. There's all kinds of hunt opportunity all over, in these countries. So with getting back to what I was saying, I was wanting to make sure that everybody understood why I was doing this. The reason I'm doing this is because I care about my customer. I want to see you reach something that you may think is, well, I'll do this when I retire. I said that for a long time. I'm at a point, everybody's kind of aware, I've had some health stuff go on. I've had surgeries and, body parts have been replaced so I can keep functioning. And, when I get to where I can retire, I probably can't make some of these flights. They're long. I mean, the African flight's 15 and a half hours if you fly direct. So I have to look at it in a realistic terms of what is my window. I'm not getting any younger. And by the time that I don't have a full-time job all the time and my kids are all grown and my grandkids are half grown, I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm doing it now while I have the opportunity and the availability to live and see the world. It's just a cool experience. So, like I said, you can add to any of these packages once that you book. That is an opportunity that you have, and when you talk with the outfitters and set those dates up, you can explain to them what you want to do, and depending on how far you are out, you can add animals or excursions. It gives you time to save. It's just about planning. The biggest thing, like I said, is I'm trying to give you how I do this. So once I book a hunt, then I have X amount of time that I plan, save, do whatever. I'm not gonna lie, there's trips that I went on that I ate ramen noodles, so it's, I'll be real with it. I was trying to squeeze every nickel I could because I wanted to do something while I can and have that experience. So that is why I'm doing these outfitter package. That is the outfitters that I'm using. You can look these guys up. It's Coochie Safaris out of South Africa, or it's huntnewzealandhunting.com. Phil Wilson. You can look those guys up. You can see their history. You can see that they're a legitimate outfitter and there's no issues. Also want to touch base. So real quick, everybody knows the Backwoods Hunting Show is coming. That's always a great time for us. Huge hunting show here in Oklahoma. That thing runs February the 28th through March the 2nd. So behind me was a raffle bow that we put up a few weeks ago and actually sold all the tickets out. So just so everybody's aware, this is going to be a complete Matthews rigged out package. Right, left-handed, depending on the winner, or you can take the one that we're using as a demo. So you have that option and availability. We are going to be giving that away Saturday, March 1st at noon. That is when we're going to give that bow away. On the New Zealand package with the Fierce Firearm, we are going to be giving that package away Saturday, March 1st at 1. So 12 and 1, Saturday, March 1st, Backwoods Hunting and Fishing Expo. Also, this week, we have gotten with Mr. Potter, Corbin Potter, who is the owner of the Backwoods Show. They do an awesome job, fantastic job. We are the bow sponsor for the Backwoods Hunting and Fishing Expo. So, I got with a bow manufacturer. We are going to be giving away a completely outfitted Hoyt AX232 with a hunt package, with an African hunt package. You're going to come in, be able to get a raffle ticket at the door, and you're going to be able to drop it in the raffle bucket, and some lucky person is going to win the bow and the hunt package. That's an awesome deal. It's a great job with the Backwoods Hunting and Fishing Show. Thank you so much to Hoyt Archery. And we wanted to do something a little extra for the show itself. The show's been around a long time and has a long history. It's going to be really cool. I'm super excited because here's the opportunity to send somebody else on the hunt of a lifetime. So it's going to be awesome. We are also going to be doing some more raffles. Everybody knows tack's coming. We always do a raffle for tack, so we'll have something going for that and available for that. We're going to kind of see what we have lined up. I'm in the works right now talking to people about that, so we'll get that took care of. But just keep watching, following, liking, sharing. Go check out our website. We're working really hard to bring stuff to you guys. You're our important base. You're our customer base, and we try to focus on you. So, guys, that's going to bring it to an end for today, and then we'll be getting back with you as quickly as we can. So remember, Choctaw Archery and Guns, we love what we do.